These disgusting channels are targeting kids by AugustTheDuck. Well, this is not surprising. I think I know exactly what he's already going to talk about. Well, we can see a thumbnail. It's just the sexualized kids channels. With the sexualized kids slop. That's what it is. Straight up. It just is. It just is. Anyways, we'll jump in. That's some Omni gets her back broke by Jax. The amazing digital circus animation. Damn. That is gooning on YouTube. The actual fuck, bro. Holy shit. Holy fuck.
Don't you just...
Bro. Kids these days. Such lovely content they consume. Lovely. Lovely. Truly lovely. Bro. That is diabolical.
Just hate it when you're trying to watch My Digital Circus videos on YouTube and all you can find is...
That turns into My Digital Anus. Pretty quickly. My Digital Hub. Did they get approved? Because YouTube does not care. YouTube. So here's the problem, right? I always crash out over Twitch, right? Because Twitch doesn't care when the certain side does it, or they enforce the TOS unreasonably. YouTube doesn't enforce the TOS at all, except when it comes to monetization.
Don't you just hate it?
Do you get it now? My digital corn is always digital, as far as I'm aware. What did you do with that? Looks like I walked into the wrong time. I looked at the... Yeah, you did! The wrong time! This is YouTube, by the way. This is YouTube. And, you know, the transparent cleaning one? And, remember... that on TikTok, if you click the wrong things on the TikTok shop, you will just straight up get women pulling out their boobs. They all have this problem, it appears. Honestly, I feel like using my Twitter has become less sexual, and it's still sexual, in comparison to some websites that shouldn't be.
When you're trying to watch My Digital Circus videos on YouTube and all you can find is videos of Pomni getting it eaten from the back. Happens all the time. Now before you get any idea...
GoonTube. It's also like, the ads, right? The ads. The AI girlfriend ads that are crazy. Or those social media apps, right? Where it's straight up just, masturbating. It's just crazy. It is just crazy what is going on this website, and they don't even care. Or, that was in this one Gooner video that we watched for the ads, right? There was this one ad. Woman be like, help me, and you can suck my dick. And then a donkey being like, help me, and I will suck your dick. And it's like, bro, crazy. Those are my actual ads.
That's not an issue I face regularly, but if you are a person who enjoys My Digital Circus animations, it probably is. You may say, August, that example you gave was pretty specific, a little too specific for you to come up with on your own, and yeah. Sure is. Now, they say, when it rains, it pours. Unfortunately for me, I did not know that applied to finding porn channels on YouTube. Ever since I made that video on the whole transparent clothing cleaning shit, which, by the way, all of those videos where women have their full, entire, uncensored pussy stuck in the camera are still on YouTube, which I think is great. Ever since I've made that video, I've had a lot of people DM me different kinds of content similar to that are on YouTube, unrestricted, and thriving. Now, what we're looking at today is not as bad
What the fuck? It's just straight up on YouTube. And kids are watching this. This is diabolical. This is crazy. Yeah, the transparent stuff is crazy. It's straight up just naked women under some transparent clothing. I've seen one where like you could just see everything. Like everything. You could just see the dirty old fanny. It is crazy.
visually as the whole transparent cleaning stuff. It's not as graphic, you know, it's not to the point where you're actually just watching porn on YouTube. But honestly, I would say the implications of what we're talking about today might be a little worse. Today, unfortunately, against my better judgment, we are diving into the cesspool of the world of my digital circus porn on YouTube. What a terrible sentence, my God. What is also a terrible sentence is this little bitty, gentle, friendly reminder that tomorrow is the last day ever to purchase a limited edition AugustTheDuck desk mat. Come tomorrow, July 6th, they will never be sold again. So if you
AugustTheDuck desk mat. It's literally just ducks. That looks cool though. That looks good. That looks good. Imagine his DMs are all. Oh, that's terrible. Instagram accounts those got sold out are crazy. Yeah. That looks cool though. I like that. That looks great. That looks awesome. I'd get that. What did I just walk into? Gooning.
want one, you've really got to act fast. There will not be another extension. There will not be any restocks. If you want one, the 6th is the last day you will ever be able to buy one, so don't wait too long. Now, if you don't know what My Digital Circus is, it's an animated show that, while not like necessarily intended for children, has a pretty large percentage of children in the fan.
What the fuck? They spend the time animating this? Yes, they do. That's the funny part, but still, that's crazy. That is just wild. The kids have access to this, because remember, most people that would watch this are likely kids. It's just crazy.
Base. And that, combined with the fact that there are a lot of people out there who at best just have no morals and are willing to exploit a child's curiosity for money, and at worst are purposefully trying to expose children to pornographic material, there are a lot of channels who specialize in making nothing but softcore My Digital Circus porn.
Yeah, you gotta make it so that you can get them early on into sexualized content, because, you know, you need to get them kids be degens in general, because that's really important, because, you know, the animation YouTube stuff into the hub pipeline exists. They animate this. It's not AI. Nope, it's not AI. Those are actually straight up animated. I don't think they are AI. I don't think the animator's a Drake fan. They not like us. Where's the oil? Where's the oil? Maybe the oiled one made these. Who knows? Maybe it was the oiled one making these. What then?
For YouTube. Not exactly what I imagine a lot of people saying they want to do with their life once they grow up, but I guess some people have got to take the high path. Now, there are a lot of channels that do this, but the two worst ones I could find are GM Craft and X Animation, which if you'll direct your attention to the screen, you'll get a bit of a sneak peek of the kind of content.
Okay, some of it might be AI and some of it might not be.
These people make.
Ballerina Cappuccina is stuck. Ah, bro, this is crazy. The oil one, P. Diddy. Diddy beat his allegations. They're not allegations. He just used money. Bro, this is crazy. 1 million views, yo! 1 million views is diabolical. Baby oil, YouTube crazy. My eyes are burning, yes. It's brain rot. It's brain rot combined with gooning. We got goon rot. We got goon rot! I just made a new word!
Now, don't get me wrong, GM Craft's thumbnails are not good by any means, but at least a lot of what's going on is sort of more implied rather than just shoved in your face. The thumbnails on the X Animation channel,
This is just diabolical. Like, this is just crazy. This is crazy! This is crazy! This is crazy! This is wild! This is wild! But this one is the craziest of here. This one is the wildest. I might start making forward at this point using your... Yeah, I'm copyright striking you straight up. I don't even care. But this one and this one, those two are the worst, easily.
yeah.
Stop pausing, I don't want to see. Yes, now you will. Because yeah, even saliva or whatever it is.
Don't leave a whole lot to the imagination. They're really getting their message across. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I've gone through every single one of these videos because I think doing that would have permanent effects.
Bro, that one's also crazy. That one's also crazy. That was the one in the beginning, but that one's wild. That one's wild. This is the content that they throw towards kids.
Effects on my brain, but I did go through about 10 videos.
Bro, what is this? Something is rising in Ain't the Shield Hero chat, bro. This is kids content. This is kids content on YouTube. This is what you would find on someone's Patreon, but not on kids stuff. Why do you even target kids? Just there's probably plenty of people that would just straight up pay for this if you just made it full on corn.
On each channel, and none of them that I clicked on were age restricted. Now, if you can somehow ignore the thumbnails, that's not necessarily super surprising, especially for the GM Craft channel. What goes on in these videos is not really that well reflected by the thumbnails, and we'll get into that in a second. But like I said, I went through about 10 videos on the X Animation channel, and the thumbnails on that channel are pretty graphic. You know, we've got Pomni, is that her name? I think, in the full Nelson position in one of these thumbnails, and that video is not age restricted. Like these.
Why do you straight up just say the position, bro? Why do you just straight up say the position, homie? Nobody needed to know what that position is called. Why was that necessary? Chat, I smell an apocalypse incoming. I see an apocalypse galloping towards us.
These are pretty graphic, pretty suggestive thumbnails, and no restrictions seem to be in place. Now, we could go through some of these videos, and I'll probably show you like a minute or two of some of them, but really the most graphic
well, time to pay child support.
Parts of all of these videos are the thumbnails. And that's really what kind of makes this kind of content so gross, because it makes it very clear what the purpose of this kind of content is. For example, compare this to the transparent cleaning stuff. Obviously, there's a pretty big aspect of those kinds of videos where kids are seeing things they shouldn't, but to be honest, I don't think that's the intention of a lot of the people posting that kind of stuff. My best guess is that they're trying to get adults to see their content and buy their OnlyFans. Those channels are not really making money. Sure, they might not all be age restricted at first, but you can't post a bare pussy onto YouTube without getting restricted eventually. So those channels are not bringing in any money. All the videos are like 30 seconds to a minute long. They're just there to get people who can pay for their OnlyFans to go pay for their OnlyFans. This is a little different. Those videos have a lot of concerns when it comes to child safety, obviously, but I don't think they're specifically targeting kids. These videos are. They're taking something that is popular with a lot of children. They're making.
Remember, guys, if you pay for animation, remember, guys, it's not even real. It's not even real. The hub is free. Pay membership, no ads, exactly. Child support, that's a funny way to say one-way trip to El Salvador. Or going to get the milk. Or cigarettes. Clickbait for PDFs. Yeah. Yeah, that or just corn addicts. I think it's just much more, it's just more corn addicts, I think.
A very graphic, suggestive, sexual thumbnail, and then they're pairing that with a 20 or 30 minute long slop animation that's not nearly as suggestive as the thumbnail would make you think. Don't get me wrong, these animations are still things that children should not be watching, but they usually keep things kind of obscure enough that for a passing by parent, you can't really tell that they're doing anything but watching something that looks like it's made for children. Which, that whole issue of people making content that looks like it's for children, so unless they're looking super close, parents don't really see how bad the stuff that their kids are watching is. That's been a problem on YouTube forever, and why YouTube doesn't do something about these channels, I really don't understand. I mean, I know I've said this kind of thing so many times, but for a website that claims to be child safe and cares so much about child safety, you'd think it'd be a pretty fucking easy decision to say, hey, we're just not going to allow channels that turn children's cartoons into softcore porn. Seems like a pretty easy business decision.
Seems like a pretty easy business decision. But how many of those are genuinely age restricted? Let's assume that they're not age restricted. Then YouTube kind of makes a lot of money other than that. Not gonna lie. Not sponsored by the hub. Not sponsored by the hub.
but what do I know? Anyways, the whole idea behind this kind of content is to target kids and exploit their curiosity about stuff like this, make them click on a video where they think they're gonna get to see Pomni naked or something, and then make it a 30-minute long shitty animation that doesn't really show them anything so your video doesn't get restricted or taken off of YouTube, but is fast-paced enough and brain-rotted enough to keep them sitting around for the 30 minutes because they don't want to skip ahead and risk missing out on seeing what they clicked on the video for. And by doing this, these
It's goonrot. That's the word I'd use. Goonrot. That is definitely the word I'd use. I would personally just slap my soul out of my existence even as an adult. Yeah.
channels have created money printers. Longer videos make more money, you can stuff more ads into them. A 30-minute long video is going to make like twice the amount of money that a 10-minute long video is going to make, especially if your entire audience is watching the video from start to finish because they want to get a glimpse of Pomni's pussy. Not only is that going to make you more money—
Those words should just not be said. Those words in that exact combination should just not just be said. It's for a goon grooming. It is. With brain rot sprinkled in.
Money because the longer they sit there, the more ads they get. It's also increasing the average watch time of that video compared to other videos like it, so it gets pushed out in the algorithm more. All of these things sort of snowball onto one another to make these videos so successful, and it all stems from these people being willing to put this kind of content in front of children. And that's exactly their goal. The people who make these kinds of videos—
We got war. We got war as well. Somebody call Anna Valance real quick. He loves that shit. And breeding facilities for women. Jay, I'll be right back. Need to burn my eyes with bleach and holy water. Yeah, you'll need a lot of that, my friend.
and run these kinds of channels are preying on children. No adult who wants to go watch my digital circus porn is looking for it on YouTube. We were all 10 years old once, and a lot of us probably looked at shit on YouTube or tried to find shit on YouTube that you really weren't supposed to be watching, and these people are taking advantage of that. Which, ironically enough, now that I really think about it, I feel like shit like this used to be a lot harder to find on YouTube. Maybe I was just a—
Just imagine as a kid, you just typed in some corn terms on YouTube, and you couldn't find, and you found something that remotely looked like it, but it was generally just not even close, bro. Stuff like this is even on YouTube Kids, which should be safer, but clearly not, and that's what war is. Oh, that's what war is. Yeah, it's eating. It's somebody being consumed. It's the idea of being consumed. Or consuming others, like as like a giant person. That's what it is. Yeah, this hard stuff is like, it's accessible. It's actually much worse than this. This is actually I'm gonna say this is tame. This is tame in comparison to what I've already seen for like Elsagate 2.0. This is actually quite tame in comparison.
Stupid kid, and I didn't know what to search for, but I remember the only videos that I could ever—
Not that it justifies it that should not exist in the first place.
Find that I felt like I really shouldn't be watching were like conspiracy theorist videos of people saying that George Bush was a lizard, which I'm sure is partially due to the fact that back in the day you really weren't making that much money on YouTube, if at all, so they're likely—
All politicians are lizards, which is why they make bad decisions. They just make good decisions for their lizard people. We're ruled by lizards.
Really wasn't much of an incentive to try and make a content farm like this. However, you'd think that over a span of 15 years that YouTube moderation would have gotten a lot better, not seemingly a whole lot worse. Now look, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying that YouTube needs to be this, like, paradise for children. I think that a lot of parents need to be more proactive in what their kids are watching on YouTube, and the whole, like, iPad kid epidemic is probably going to be the end of our civilization as we know it. And I think YouTube is at its best when creativity isn't stifled and censorship is at—
What was he just holding? Was he just holding boobs? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Yes, I agree. Parents should monitor more what their kids are watching. But they won't, because they don't have time for their kids. Well, they don't have time for their kids because both of them are working. And they won't have time for them after that, because after work, they're too tired to take care of a child. Yeah, but you made the little thing. You made the little thing. What dude, just take care of your children, for fuck's sake.
Its lowest, but I don't think that mindset really applies to a 30-minute long slop animation with a thumbnail of Jax, which yes, I did have to Google his name, eating Pomni's pussy from the back. Obviously, things that are vulgar and things that are sexual are not off limits when it comes to creativity or content. However, when the content is solely directed at children, it should be. There is genuinely no reason or justification for this kind of content to exist on YouTube, other than it being easy money for the creators and Google. Personally, and you know, this might be a hot take, but I do not think that we should be harboring people on this website who are willing to not only exploit a child's curiosity, but also willingly expose them to sexual material just to make money. I know, crazy stance, but I'm gonna have to stick to it. And these two channels are really just a drop in the bucket. If you search up on YouTube My Digital Circus Animation, or really just any animated series or game that's popular with kids right now, like 25 to 75% of the results are just gonna be softcore porn with
Bro, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Or brain rot. Straight up just brain rot. If you don't have time, then put on some Peppa Pig. Not this BS. Peppa Pig. Older SpongeBob. Some anime. There's plenty anime who targeted towards younger audiences, right? Just throw some Dragon Ball at them. That always works. For the boys. Or like Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon for the girls, right? That works perfectly well. I don't know. Whatever, there's plenty of kids shows, older kid shows that you can throw at children that still have good quality. Which I'm super annoyed, actually, nowadays that I'm gonna straight up say this. The argument, off topic, but I have to say, the argument that, oh, this is for kids, this doesn't have to be good, right? It's just for kids don't care. I disagree. Kids do deserve great stories. Absolutely. Just wanted to say that. People make movies, TV shows, whatever. Kids deserve good stories.
Extremely suggestive thumbnails. And really, I just can't understand what YouTube's justification for allowing this kind of shit on the platform is. What good does it do to allow children to be exposed?
Was that just lube? Nah, dude. Parents not going to. Good. Nah, they're going to do that.
This kind of stuff on your platform. These are not videos that are explicit or graphic that are intended for adults that children might just happen upon. These are videos that are deceptively disguised as children's content so kids get curious and click on it, and once they're on it, parents can't really tell that they're watching something they shouldn't be. If you can defend that in any capacity, there is probably something wrong with you and you should explore that with a professional. Well guys, what do you think? Do you think that YouTube's ever gonna do—
There was way too much gat in this one. The doodle bops would work fine. Yeah, no, just there's so many, just throw them all the kids shows at them at this point. The new stuff doesn't work well.
Anything about this kind of content? Personally, I don't really know. I feel like I've been talking about these sorts of content farms for the last couple of years. Usually I sort of get in these moods where I feel the need to talk about them like once a week, and then that lasts for like a month, and I realize YouTube's never gonna do anything, and I lose my motivation because I begin to feel like I'm wasting my breath. Again, I feel like I can only say this so many times.
You are wasting your breath, in fact. Great story, it's a myth. Yeah, nowadays it's like, ugh, doesn't exist anymore. You are essentially talking to a wall. Simple reason. When there was the huge content farm with animal abuse, YouTube actively tried to sabotage people calling them out, slowing down reach, censoring the thumbnail, blocking the video, demonetizing the video. Right? Where like people were putting like some narcotics into a little monkey. Feeding the little monkey sweets, human sweets, putting like multiple animals in like those small plastic bowls, and fish with like barely any water and like stuff, right? After that, we had like the Minecraft pipeline, which that one had the same experience, by the way. It got censored and demonetized, and YouTube still did not care. YouTube does not care when it comes to that stuff, and I don't think they ever will until advertisers say, yeah, see that? See that advertisement? Get fucked.
before you guys get sick of hearing it, but I just don't really understand YouTube's like reasoning or thought process behind allowing this kind of stuff. It just seems like barring all of this kind of content and setting up some sort of filter for it would be relatively easy for a company as big as YouTube, but I think they just don't care to. I think this kind of stuff just brings in way too much money, and not that many people talk about it.
Exactly, that's the reason, right? Money. Hello there. Hi, Joe. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. It's money. Always been money.
Not too many people make a fuss about it, so they're just like, fuck it, let's just keep printing money. So, you know, that's cool. Always reassuring to know that I work for a company with a strong set of morals. Helps me sleep at night, so yeah.
That's the end of the video. My views are incredibly simple. This shit should not exist. It just shouldn't. I mean, it does. It does. We cannot stop this. It does. But regardless, it is just awful. It should not exist. We need to certainly get rid of this. And we need to call this out more. Even if they don't listen. Eventually the advertisers will listen. And when the advertisers listen, then you are in fact cooked. No company cares about protecting kids if exploiting them can make money. It's sad. It's sad, but that is the harsh reality. In fact, nobody cares about anybody as long as they can make money out of you. It's just the harsh truth. But yeah, I would say if you see this stuff, just straight up just report it, I think. The only thing you can do as the average person is just report it. Yeah, just do that. I think I will also more and more do that with the advertisements that are popping up, because the advertisements are literally the same. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe.